Got an issue with Metallica left flipper not working. So here's the 3 amp slow blow fuse, and we'll check it with the DVM. And the fuse it's blown. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is take the driver board out. There's a good chance that issue is with the flipper driver transistors. Put the backglass safely away. Okay, so I need to remove carefully remove all the connectors. Screws is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws to loosen up. Okay, board is removed and on the workbench. Now the issue with Q15 and 16, here's Q15 right here, and here is Q16. So the issues with either the left or right flippers not working is most likely due to heat. Playing long time, doing tournaments that are 10 hours or more. What happens is the MOSFET Q15 and Q16 that drive the flippers get very hot. The heat is what kills the MOSFET. I'm able to say this with fair certainty because in 2013 I had the left flipper fail on Lord of the Rings. I always replace the factory MOSFET with an IRL540. However, even the IRL540 will blow due to heat unless a heat sink is added. And I'll show you the heat sinks I have. So I added heat sinks to Lord of the Rings in 2013, so 7 years ago. I've never had MOSFET blow since then. So I'm going to modify this game and I'll show you the heat sinks that I'm going to use. Heat sinks are very tiny, and they're going to go on the back of Q15 like this with this protector, and I'm going to screw them in. So it's kind of cool. When it's done, it's going to look. When it's done, it's going to look like this. So I've got this one ready outside the circuit, and as soon as I remove the defective IRL540, I'm going to put this one in. Here's what the heat sinks look like put on the MOSFET. Now I add them on ahead of time, so it's a lot easier when I'm putting it on the board. And here's the back of it. And heatsink compound goes between the inside of the MOSFET, the metal part, and the heatsink itself to transfer the heat. I use the MX4 thermal compound for the heat transfer. Once this modification is done, there won't be any more issues with the Q15 or Q16 blowing. Now, while you have the board out, it's also good to check the diodes for the flippers to just make sure the diodes are okay. So there's discussions on forums to remove C52 and C53 in a circuit. All the capacitors are doing is slowing down a turn on and slowing down the turn off of the MOSFETs. These capacitors are causing the heat to build up. It's very little heating with even a few hundred off and on cycles. However, over a period of many hours of constant play, the heat buildup will be significant and possibly damage a MOSFET. I'm not sure why the capacitors are in there, but I personally would rather to leave them on. They're easy to remove, not so easy to put back in. So all I'll do is just do the heatsink, and that's it. And I'll also check the diodes. I just removed the old MOSFET garbage. So now I'm just going to check the diodes. Put the positive on the anode, negative on cathode. I'm getting 2.2 ohms. Reverse it. Put the positive on the cathode, negative on the anode, and it's infinity. So that's good. That's what you want. So I've got the MOSFET in. You can see the heatsink applied. That's to left MOSFET Q15. So I've got the heatsink applied to the left flipper, Q15. That's what it looks like in the front, in the back. See, it's not interfering with the other MOSFETs. So the heatsink is a good size. Now, for experimental purposes, I'm not going to replace Q16. I just want to see what happens with over long term, whether Q16, which is the right flipper, will blow or not. If it does, I'll just put a heatsink on there. But for now, I just want to monitor and see how durable this modification is. As I said on Lord of the Rings, it's been working fine for the past 7 years. No issues there. So I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. Use a little Q-tip here for electronics. I'm going to dip it in a little bit of isopropyl alcohol because I don't have any effluxer, but I don't keep the alcohol on the workbench here because it's flammable. The Q-tip has been dipped in isopropyl alcohol. I will clean the flux around here. It's nice and clean. And now I'm going to put it back on the machine and we will test this out. Pretty cool.
How's it going?
Well, I'm doing my little video here. You want to see what I did with modification?
Sure.
I'm going to unplug my...
I'm going to have some sushi.
Oops. Let's see there.
Quite a cool room still, eh?
Yeah.
I like the window there. Like the window
Yeah.
just adds so much.
So this, I'm recording now, but it's going to be edited.
Oh, yeah, I don't
See
want
the heatsink there?
Yeah.
Right there? That's a modification. So that is for the left flipper. The right, I'm going to leave it. I wonder if I should put it on. Now I'm going to leave it alone as an experiment to see how long it'll last.
Are you going to explain that?
Yeah. And now
Promise to cut me out.
so now we're going to put it back.
Okay.
And you can stand there and just watch what I'm doing.
Okay, well, I want
Or stand over here. Okay, stand over here.
I have to go finish taking the garbage out though.
So now I'm going to put the driver board back in the game. Don't over tighten, just as soon as it's snug, you can stop. It's important not to have any of these screws loose because they do act as a ground for the board.
But most pinball players do have a few loose screws.
Like me, I'm not fair. Alright, so we're down here, just double checking this to make sure I haven't missed any other. So next step is to put all the connectors back in. So I'll start off with the corner here, and just be careful, make sure everything's aligned properly. Take your time. Ribbon cable, the red color of the ribbon cable is always pin number 1. Get that one. So they're all in. I'm going to double check each one of them. And before you took all these out, you took a picture of them. Now here, I'm pretty sure the wire was at the bottom, so I'm going to verify with the photo I took. We are good. Next, the light bulb goes in. Fluorescent bulb. Last thing to do is install a 3 amp slow blow fuse. Just verifying that it is 3 amps. Yes. Because the fuse was blown for the left flipper, so I'm going to put the replacement in, brand new. There we go. Well, here it goes. Let's see if anything blows up. Alexa, turn on Metallica.
Okay.
Booting up. Let's start again. And the left flipper works. Alexa? Kathy, come here.
My hair's wet.
Alexa? Turn Metallica off.
Okay.
Okay, there you have it. Replacing Q15 and Q16. Actually, no, I just replaced Q15, the left flipper. All done. Here are some of the tools I use for doing a flipper rebuild or any other electronic repair. I use a desolderer, Heiko 808. Very nice. We'll put that one away. I use a Fluke voltmeter, Weller WP95 soldering iron, you're going to need 3 amp 12 volt fuses for the flippers, and on Metallica left and right fuses are underneath the play field. You need some solder. Okay, so I use a heatsink compound for the heat sinks that I apply to the MOSFETs for the flippers. So our heatsink compound, this one is called MX4. Just order them from Amazon. And this is for the MOSFETs. Some little Q-tips. This is what it looks like. This one's a bit dirty because I used it to remove the flux from the circuit board. You're gonna need the heat sinks. These are heat sinks. You've got the screws in this kit. Little insulators. I ordered these from Amazon, and you're going to need some IRL540s. This is a heavier duty MOSFET from what comes as factory standard from Stern. Here's my little kit to fix the flippers.